The history of Chandon Vintage Brut really begins in 1986 with the first release of Vintage Brut, and we've made Vintage Brut every year since then, with one exception, which was 2000. Quite importantly for Chandon, in 1986 that was pioneering times, and so there was a lot of freedom and a lot of opportunity to really explore just how good Australian sparkling wine could be. The 2010 vintage was a wonderful year in terms of temperature and ripeness, but also in terms of fruit quality. The fruit for the 2010 Chandon Vintage Brut is sourced from, first of all, the Yarra Valley, more recently Tasmania, but also the mountain parts of Victoria. So we've got King Valley and Strathbogie ranges, and all of these parts of the cool climate viticulture in Australia play a role in sparkling wine, and there have been tremendous sparkling wines made in each of those places. The cool climate allows the flavour and intensity and complexity in the grapes to develop. So we're trying to let the vineyards speak for themselves in the wine, and then we only overlay that with a subtle amount of winemaking. As with all our sparkling wines here at Chandon, we use the traditional Champenoise varieties, that's Chardonnay, Pinot Noir and Pinot Meunier. With Vintage Brut, we blend these according to style. There's no recipe. We have the freedom to blend any way we like. The wine spends a minimum of 3 years on its lees. That's a part of the traditional method and part of the ageing that we do. When I taste this wine, the first impression is Chardonnay on the nose and on the palate. It has a wonderful green apple and lemon verbena, almost jasmine kind of aromatic. And then when I put the wine in my mouth, I get a much stronger Pinot Noir influence. The Pinot Noir flavour of pomegranate and citrus peel is very, very dominant on the finish. The blending of those two varieties of Chardonnay and Pinot Noir is really where this wine finds its great complexity. I think there's so much work to be done in Australian sparkling still. I think we're just starting to find a true identity and test how good Australian sparkling can be. The 2010 Vintage Brut's a really, really exciting release for us. With sparkling wine, I think in some ways it's a metaphor for the occasion. The wine itself is bubbly and effervescent and a little bit exciting, and that's really what people look for in those moments.